Tim, welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Corum Admiral's Cup Legend 42 Annual Calendar, 42 millimeters in automatic winding in stainless steel. You can see and you can purchase this Corum Admiral's Cup Annual Calendar on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing information for this Corum Admiral's Cup. Now, the Corum Admiral's Cup has been around since 1960, but it's only since the early 80s that it's had the dodecagon form that we associate with it. That is to say, the 12-sided case. And it's not just a 12-sided case, it's a 12-sided dial. It's a 12-sided rehaut. It's a 12-sided crystal. It's an elaborate appearance, but one that often forces enthusiasts to make a choice between the overwhelming size of what seems to be the mainstream of the Admiral's Cup line and the overwhelming price of the desirable but nearly obtainable Admiral's Cup complications. This watch strikes a middle ground on both fronts. 42 millimeters in stainless steel on my wrist that is from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock across the case, not including the crown or crown guards. Now, it's nice and slim. In spite of being an automatic complication, it's only 11.5 millimeters thick, and you can see there is a little bit of a slope to the bevel of that bezel, so you can easily slide it underneath a dress cuff. Now, you also note that from lug to lug, it has good span but not overwhelming girth. 51.5 millimeters across the wrist. You can also see how the lugs do turn down and nicely wrap themselves around my forearm. Even though my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, I would say down to 14.5 centimeters in circumference, a wrist will wear this watch well. Now, it's very substantial. The case has a nice heft to it. Again, not overwhelming, but a satisfying heft. And then the strap itself is fairly burly. You can see it has sheer cut edges. There's a beautiful vertical drop from the top to the bottom, a monotone stitch. You can see it's flat and unbolstered, very elegant and beautifully paired with the charcoal gray dial and the blackened metallic rehaut featuring the 31-day date wheel. Perhaps not a wheel so much as a date circuit, but there's a wonderful grayscale coordination going on from the center of the dial all the way out to the periphery of the strap, and this beautifully substantial Corum twin trigger double deployant buckle, beautifully finished inside. The twin triggers are what you'd like to see on a premium timepiece, as they make release a positive disengagement, not friction fit. It can simply pop open, and the double deployant action makes it easier. If you do have to buckle the strap tight on a smaller wrist, you're less likely to get pinched with the double deployant action. Now, there's handsome differential finish on the case and the bezel itself. You can see the flanks of the bezel are brushed on its faceted aspects, and then the top is polished. Likewise, the hoods of the lugs and the ends of the lugs are polished, but the flanks of the case are vertically brushed, beautifully expressing the lines of the bezel seamlessly flowing from one portion of the case to the other. Now, diving down from the traditional Admiral's Cup pennants on the outermost rehaut, which serves as a seconds track, we can see that 31-day date circuit that I mentioned before, outboard of faceted and applied hour markers. Now, there is a indicator for the month, and at first glance, you might think it's some sort of subsecond until you realize that the Corum key counterweighted seconds hand is centrally mounted, and that's your month indicator. So between the month and the date, you have an annual calendar, a complication that requires correcting only once per year, unlike the 5 corrections of a simple but complex calendar that is day, date, month. The annual calendar has the additional refinement such that it only needs to be reset once a year during the jump from February to March. And there's a gorgeous teak deck style pattern that runs vertically across the dial. Turn the watch over, and you can see the caliber that's powering it. Now, it is a true ETA-based movement. It's not a Salida or some ersatz replacement for ETA. It's a 2892A2 in high grade, and it powers a annual calendar module on the other side. It's very tough, winds bidirectionally, so there's no rotor wobble that you can feel tangibly on the wrist. It also features hacking seconds, such that when you pull the crown out, you do stop the balance, and you can synchronize the watch to a known accurate reference time. Now, the watch is 3 ATM or 30 meter water resistant. So while the Corum Admiral's cup does come from a nautical heritage, this is more of a high-end dry complication for lunch at the yacht club rather than taking the plunge off the transom. It's a handsome watch, and as I mentioned earlier, it's a great optimization of what we love most about the Admiral's Cup: the shape, the character, the detailing, Corum's whimsical sense of humor, the enduring style of the dodecagon in the bezel, the case, the dial, the sapphire. But it's not oversized and it's not overpriced. In a lot of ways, short of getting in the water and getting wet and wild, this could be your only watch. You can see it and you can purchase it on our website.